You are standing in your backyard right now, probably looking at a bin of grass clippings, a pile of autumn leaves, a bag of coffee grounds sitting on your kitchen counter, and a cluster of banana peels on top of your trash can. And every single one of those items is worth more to your garden than most of the fertilizers sitting on the shelves of your local garden center. The truth that the gardening industry does not shout from the rooftops is this: the waste you generate at home every single week contains the exact macronutrients and micronutrients your plants are desperate for, and with almost zero effort, you can transform that waste into powerful, slow-release, microbe-activating, soil-building organic fertilizer that feeds your garden season after season. This post is for every beginner gardener in the United States who is tired of spending money on bags and bottles that promise results and deliver mediocrity. What you already have at home is the answer, and by the end of this piece, you will know exactly how to use it. Before we go through the 7 items, it helps to understand why organic fertilizer from garden waste outperforms synthetic fertilizer for the long-term health of your soil and your plants. Synthetic fertilizers deliver nutrients fast, but they do nothing to support the living ecosystem beneath the soil surface. Research published in the journal Soil and Tillage Research has shown that long-term synthetic fertilizer use without organic matter replenishment leads to measurable declines in soil microbial biomass and diversity, the very organisms that regulate nutrient cycling, disease suppression, and water retention. Organic fertilizers made from kitchen and garden waste, on the other hand, release nutrients slowly as microbes break them down, feed the fungal and bacterial networks that form symbiotic relationships with plant roots, improve the physical structure of the soil, and create a self-sustaining fertility cycle that gets better every year. In short, synthetic fertilizer feeds the plant. Organic waste fertilizer feeds the soil that feeds the plant, and that distinction makes all the difference. The first and most powerful waste item is banana peels. Every American household generates banana peels almost daily, and most of those peels go straight into the trash without a second thought. This is a genuine loss, because banana peels are extraordinarily rich in potassium, the macronutrient plants need for strong stems, fruit development, disease resistance, and efficient water regulation within plant cells. A 2019 analysis of banana peel composition found potassium concentrations ranging from 8 to 12% on a dry weight basis, along with significant amounts of phosphorus, calcium, and magnesium. To use them as fertilizer, you have several options. The simplest is to chop the peels into small pieces and bury them 2 to 3 inches deep near the base of your plants, where they will break down directly in the root zone. Alternatively, soak 2 to 4 peels in a gallon of water for 48 hours, strain out the peels, and use the tea to water your plants directly. This banana peel tea delivers a gentle, fast-acting potassium boost that flowering and fruiting plants like tomatoes, peppers, roses, and squash respond to dramatically. Do not pile whole peels on the soil surface, as they attract pests and break down too slowly without being in contact with soil microbes. The second item is coffee grounds. If you brew a pot of coffee every morning, the way most American households do, you are sitting on a genuinely valuable soil amendment. Coffee grounds are a moderate source of nitrogen, typically around 2% by weight, along with trace amounts of potassium, phosphorus, and beneficial micronutrients. More importantly, their slightly acidic pH and gritty physical texture make them an excellent soil conditioner. When worked into the soil or added to a compost pile, coffee grounds stimulate microbial activity, improve drainage in heavy clay soils, and contribute to that loose, crumbly soil structure that plant roots love. Scatter used grounds thinly across the surface of garden beds, and rake them lightly into the top inch of soil. For potted plants, mix a small amount into the top layer of potting soil at the beginning of the growing season. Acid-loving plants like blueberries, azaleas, tomatoes, and roses respond particularly well to coffee ground amendments. One important caution for beginners: do not apply coffee grounds thickly or pile them, as a solid crust of grounds repels water and creates a hydrophobic barrier over the soil surface. Thin applications, repeated regularly, are far more effective than a single heavy dose. The third waste item is grass clippings. One of the most nitrogen-rich materials any home gardener can produce. Fresh grass clippings contain nitrogen concentrations of approximately 4% by weight, making them comparable to a commercially produced fertilizer. When left on the lawn surface after mowing, a technique called grass cycling, they decompose rapidly, returning an estimated 50% of the nitrogen and a substantial portion of the potassium the grass originally extracted from the soil. For garden beds, fresh clippings can be applied as a 1-inch deep mulch layer around vegetable plants and perennials, where they suppress weeds, retain soil moisture, and slowly release nitrogen as they break down. Avoid applying them more than an inch thick when fresh, as thick layers of fresh clippings mat together, block water infiltration, and begin to smell as they ferment anaerobically. Dry clippings, collected on a sunny day, can be applied more generously, without this problem. Adding grass clippings to a compost pile in alternating layers with carbon-rich brown materials, like dried leaves or cardboard, accelerates decomposition and produces finished compost significantly richer in nitrogen than brown material-only piles. The fourth item is dried autumn leaves, and for American gardeners particularly, this is a resource of almost absurd abundance that almost everyone mismanages. Dried leaves are a carbon-rich material, the backbone of any healthy compost pile, and when decomposed, they produce humus, the stable, long-lasting form of organic matter that gives fertile soils their characteristic dark color and spongy texture. Shredded leaves applied as a 2 to 3 inch mulch layer over garden beds provide winter insulation for root systems, suppress spring weed emergence, regulate soil temperature, and break down slowly to feed soil microorganisms through fall, winter, and early spring. Run over them with a lawnmower to shred them before applying. Shredded leaves decompose at roughly twice the rate of whole leaves. Leaf mold, made by piling shredded leaves in a dedicated bin and leaving them to decompose for 12 to 18 months, is one of the finest soil conditioners available to home gardeners, prized by professional horticulturists for its ability to improve soil moisture retention, support beneficial fungal networks, and create the ideal rooting environment for most garden plants. The fifth item is eggshells, which many beginners overlook because they do not look like fertilizer, and they break down slowly. Their value lies primarily in their calcium content, approximately 90% calcium carbonate by weight, which is the same mineral compound that raises soil pH and directly supports cell wall development in plants. Calcium deficiency in garden plants manifests as blossom end rot in tomatoes and peppers, tip burn in lettuce and cabbage, and weak, crumbly fruit in strawberries. Collect eggshells, rinse and dry them thoroughly, then crush them as finely as possible before adding to the garden. Crushed eggshells worked into the soil around tomatoes, peppers, squash, and brassicas provide a long-term calcium source that becomes gradually bioavailable as the shells weather and dissolve. For faster action, soak crushed shells in water for 24 hours to create a mild calcium-rich liquid that can be applied directly as a soil drench. Eggshells in compost take many months to break down significantly, so the more finely you crush them before adding to a pile, the faster they contribute their mineral content. The sixth item is wood ash from your backyard fire pit, outdoor fireplace, or wood-burning stove, one of the most concentrated sources of potassium and calcium available to organic gardeners. Wood ash is highly alkaline, with a pH typically between 10 and 12, and contains potassium levels of around 3 to 7%, along with significant calcium, phosphorus, and a range of trace minerals. Applied carefully, it acts as a natural soil sweetener that raises pH in overly acidic soils, delivers immediate potassium to fruiting and flowering plants, and improves the calcium availability that keeps cell walls strong. Scatter it thinly across garden beds in early spring, at a rate of no more than 5 to 10 pounds per 100 square feet, and work it lightly into the top few inches of soil. Never use wood ash in beds where you grow blueberries, rhododendrons, azaleas, or other acid-loving plants. And critically, never use ash from treated wood, painted wood, plywood, or charcoal briquettes, as these contain chemical compounds that are toxic to plants and soil life. The seventh item is kitchen vegetable scraps. The ends of onions, carrot tops, potato peels, wilted herbs, spent lettuce, and every other piece of vegetable matter that lands in your kitchen trash daily. These scraps carry varying, but meaningful levels of nitrogen, potassium, and micronutrients depending on their origin. And when processed correctly, they become a rich, broadly nutritious soil amendment. The most effective processing method for home gardeners is hot composting, where scraps are layered in a compost bin with carbon materials at a ratio of roughly 1 part green kitchen scraps to 2 parts dry brown material, kept moist but not wet, and turned every 5 to 7 days to maintain the heat that accelerates decomposition and kills weed seeds. A properly managed hot compost pile will produce finished, dark, crumbly compost in 6 to 8 weeks during warm summer months. For gardeners without space or time for a full composting setup, trench composting is a brilliantly simple alternative. Dig a trench 6 to 8 inches deep between garden rows, bury your kitchen scraps in it, cover with soil, and simply plant on top the following season. The way these 7 fertilizers interact with your plants goes well beyond what the basic NPK numbers suggest. A 2021 study published in Frontiers in Plant Science found that plants grown in soils amended with diverse organic materials, including composted kitchen and garden waste, showed significantly elevated concentrations of vitamins, antioxidants, and secondary metabolites compared to plants grown in synthetic fertilizer-treated soils. This is directly relevant to every American gardener who grows vegetables for the table. The tomatoes, peppers, lettuces, and herbs you grow in organically enriched soil are not just fresher than store-bought produce. They are measurably more nutritious. The soil biology that breaks down organic waste into plant food is the same biology that enables plants to synthesize the phytonutrients and antioxidant compounds that support human cardiovascular health, immune function, and inflammation regulation. The correct watering routine for gardens, fertilized with organic waste amendments, deserves specific attention because organic materials change how soil holds and releases water. Soil regularly amended with compost and organic mulches retains moisture significantly longer than unamended soil, which means you can water less frequently without stressing your plants. The general rule holds: water deeply and infrequently, rather than shallowly and often. Deep watering encourages roots to grow downward toward the permanent moisture zone, producing drought-resilient plants with extensive root systems. Shallow, frequent watering keeps roots near the surface, where they are vulnerable to heat, drying, and damage. Water your garden to a depth of at least 6 inches at each watering session, and wait until the top 2 inches of soil are dry before watering again. In summer, this typically means watering every 5 to 7 days. For most vegetables in most American climate zones, though sandy soils and extreme heat may require more frequent attention. When using organic waste fertilizers alongside conventional fertilizing and pruning routines, timing matters. Apply banana peel tea and grass clipping mulches at the beginning of the growing season, and again at mid-season when fruiting plants set flowers. Side dress beds with finished compost in early spring as plants emerge, and again in early summer when vegetative growth is most rapid. Prune regularly to remove dead, diseased, or overcrowded growth, as clean pruning wound surfaces heal faster in soil rich in beneficial microorganisms. Every time you prune healthy vegetative growth, add those clippings to your compost pile, or chop them directly into the soil surface as a chop-and-drop mulch, a technique used by permaculture and regenerative farmers across the country that continuously returns nutrients to the soil without any transportation, processing, or expense. A few common problems deserve direct, clear answers. If your banana peel tea smells overly fermented, or produces very dark, foul-smelling liquid, it has been left too long. Keep to the 48-hour maximum and use fresh peels. If coffee grounds are creating a water-repelling crust on your soil, you have applied too thickly. Scratch them in with a finger or fork and reduce future applications. If grass clippings are clumping, matting, and smelling unpleasant, they were applied too thick and too wet. Let clippings dry before applying or reduce the depth to half an inch. If your compost pile is not heating up, it likely needs more nitrogen-rich green materials, more moisture, or more frequent turning. If wood ash is causing leaf scorch or yellowing on plants it is applied around, the application was too heavy or the soil was already alkaline. Flush the bed with deep watering and avoid reapplying for the rest of the season. None of these problems are serious, and all of them resolve quickly with a small adjustment. The circle of fertility that starts in your kitchen trash, runs through your soil, and ends on your dinner table is one of the most satisfying experiences that gardening offers. You are taking what your household produces as waste and converting it, through the intelligence of the microbial world, into the most nutritious food you can grow. The 7 items in this post: banana peels, coffee grounds, grass clippings, dried leaves, eggshells, wood ash, and vegetable scraps, are not a complete list of what your garden can use, but they are the most available, the most effective, and the most beginner-friendly starting points for any American gardener who wants to fertilize smarter, spend less, and grow better. Start with 2 or 3 of these this week. Watch what happens to your plants by mid-season. Then add the others. Your soil will reward every single effort. If you love learning about seasonal flowering plants, vegetables, gardening tips, and nature care, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Nature Nurture Hub, your home for year-round garden inspiration. Let's keep growing together.